So, as I have said all along during the upcoming lead up to the trial in August, is that I believe the prosecution has even more evidence that they have not revealed yet. And a lot of this had to do with the gag order. And now evidence that we never knew about, all of a sudden in the late hour, is being revealed. This is Banfield, and she talks about that documents show the K-bar knife was shipped to Bryan Kohberger. I'm going to play a little bit of this here.
Was ever at those sites in the first place. And if I am ever charged with 4 murders, that's probably going to help my defense. Not so much for Bryan Kohberger. New documents that just dropped tonight show Idaho prosecutors have some more heavy ammo against him in his quadruple murder case. We had been kept from these details for 2.5 years. That pesky gag order has seen to it. But little by little, morsels of information are dropping in the way of pretrial court documents, and tonight, a bombshell. We already knew that Kohberger's Amazon history showed that he bought a K-bar knife, according to the prosecutors, and a K-bar sheath, and months before the murders. And we also learned that he searched for what the prosecutors call a replacement knife and sheath after the murders. Convenient. But today we learned that whoever's fingers were doing the walking on that Amazon account looked for ways to delete that shopping history right after the murders. Bad fact. Prosecution documents also show that the K-bar knife and sheath were, quote, shipped to Bryan Kohberger at his family address in Pennsylvania, end quote. The documents continue with, quote, after the homicides, activity from the same account showed the user navigated pages related to the deletion of account activity, and a week later viewed pages associated with K-bar knife and sheath. This evidence establishes significant connection between defendant and K-bar knife and sheath. It's hard enough to hide something like that in real life. Whoever killed those poor kids was able to hide that because no one's ever found the actual K-bar knife. But he screwed up with that, or she. This was found under the body of Maddie Mogan. And on that little snap, DNA. Prosecutors say that DNA led them right to Kohberger. I believe the legal term for the stuff we learned in the document tonight is called mic drop. But Lisa Bonner knows a lot more about that technical stuff than I do. She's a managing.
So, again, when we talk about connections, here we have the knife sheath recovered under the body of Madison Mogan, or alongside the body of Madison Mogan, at least in the bed with her. And on the button of that knife sheath is the DNA belonging to Bryan Kohberger. Now we find out, which Banfield just showed us, is that he was trying to delete his history on Amazon. So there would be no evidence of him ordering the K-bar knife and the knife sheath that was erroneously left in the crime scene. I mean, to me, I've been involved in a lot of homicide investigations in my police career. To me, this is absolutely smoking gun evidence, the DNA on that knife sheath. And when I hear people say that it's not important, I'm just baffled, absolutely baffled by it. So yes, this evidence is extremely, extremely powerful. And Judge Hippler, I believe, has made all the correct decisions in regarding this case. And as the prosecutor puts this case together and does his presentation, there are so many things that he could point to in regards to this case that show the guilt of this man, Bryan Kohberger, being charged with 4 counts of murder, first degree. And I think that they're going to be successful in his prosecution. So yeah, the Kohberger, it's convincing evidence. It's strong evidence. Much of it is circumstantial, but I believe that it's competent evidence, and it's evidence that will be believed by the jury. And it's evidence that points to, in my perspective, one suspect, and you see him on the screen here, Bryan Kohberger. And on the screen on this thumbnail, you see the white Hyundai Elantra. And we showed some evidence the other day that there are all kinds of camera images of this car, a Hyundai Elantra. We can't say 100% it's this car. We believe it's this car, being taken by video cameras in the vicinity of 1122 King Road, which is the home, the student's home, the crime scene. So more evidence, more, yes, circumstantial evidence. And then the evidence that Bryan Kohberger returns back to the house at about 0900 or 0930 hours in this very same car. So again, circumstantial evidence, but extremely powerful circumstantial evidence. So we will keep watching this case as it moves forward, and perhaps more evidence will be released by the prosecution as we get closer and closer to the day that the trial is going to begin in August. So that's our presentation for today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless.